forest floor was a soft carpet of fallen pine needles, muffling our footsteps as Leo and I pushed deeper into the woods. We'd been hiking since dawn, chasing the rumor of a hidden waterfall. The air, crisp and cool in the morning, was now growing thick and heavy, clinging to our skin like a damp shroud. Sunlight struggled to pierce the dense canopy above, casting long, distorted shadows that danced like specters at the edge of our vision. Leo, ever the optimist, was a few paces ahead. He called back, "Come on, Alex. It's gotta be just over this ridge." I grunted in response, my own enthusiasm waning with the light. The silence of the forest was unnerving. No bird song, no rustling of small animals, just the sound of our own breathing and the soft crunch of our boots. It felt like the woods were holding their breath, waiting for something. That's when I saw it. Tucked away in a small clearing, partially buried in the earth and tangled in roots, was something that didn't belong. It was metallic, a dull gunmetal gray, and impossibly smooth. It wasn't a rock, and it wasn't any part of a plane or car I'd ever seen. It was about the size of a large boulder, its shape vaguely ovoid, but with subtle, shifting contours that tricked the eye. "Leo, hold up!" I called out, my voice sounding small in the vast quiet. "You need to see this." He backtracked, a curious frown on his face. When his eyes landed on the object, he stopped dead. "What in the world is that?" he whispered, echoing my thoughts. We circled it cautiously. There were no seams, no bolts, no signs of manufacture. It looked less like it was made and more like it had grown, airy. I reached out a hesitant hand, my fingers hovering just inches from its surface. The air around it felt strangely cold. Leo, bolder than I, knelt down and pressed his palm flat against it. He snatched his hand back as if burned. "It's vibrating," he said, his eyes weedy. "I can feel it. It's humming." I pressed my ear close, and he was right. A low, subaudible, thrumming sound emanated from within, a deep, resonant pulse that I felt more in my bones than heard with my ears. It felt alive, like the slow, deep heartbeat of some colossal, sleeping creature. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of blood orange and violet, the object began to change. The smooth, gray surface started to ripple like liquid metal. Thin, almost invisible lines etched themselves across its form, glowing with a faint, sickly green light. The lines formed a complex, intricate pattern, a web of alien geometry that shifted and reformed before our eyes. The low hum intensified, rising in pitch until it was an unsettling whine that set my teeth on edge. "Alex, maybe we should go," Leo said, his voice trembling slightly. This isn't right." But I was mesmerized. I couldn't look away. The patterns were hypnotic, drawing me in. It felt like they were communicating something, a language I couldn't understand but felt on a primal level. The air grew colder still, and a strange, metallic scent, like ozone after a lightning strike, filled the clearing. Then, a section of the object's surface depressed inward, receding silently to form a perfectly circular opening. It wasn't an explosive or mechanical action. It just happened. The inside was a void, an absolute, light-devouring blackness. The humming stopped. The sudden silence was more terrifying than the noise had been. The forest seemed to press in around us, the shadows deepening into an impenetrable wall. From the darkness of the aperture, something began to emerge. It wasn't fast. It unfolded itself slowly, joint by joint, a long, slender limb, the same gunmetal gray as the shell, but segmented like an insect's leg. It was impossibly thin, ending in a point so sharp it seemed to tear at the light around it. It touched the ground without a sound, testing the earth. Then another followed, and another. Leo and I were frozen, paralyzed by a terror so profound it felt like a physical weight. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the suffocating silence. The thing that pulled itself from the metallic egg was a nightmare given form. It was tall and spindly, a chaotic assembly of sharp angles and too many joints. It had no discernible head, no eyes, just a writhing mass of those slender, pointed limbs. It moved with a jerky, unnatural grace, its needle-like feet barely disturbing the fallen leaves. It straightened to its full, terrifying height, towering over us. A low, clicking sound started, emanating from somewhere within its complex body. It sounded like 1,000 tiny pieces of metal snapping into place. It turned its torso towards us. I felt a sickening lurch in my stomach. It knew we were here. It had known all along. Leo broke first. With a strangled cry, he turned and ran, crashing blindly through the undergrowth. The creature's reaction was instantaneous. One of its limbs shot out, faster than my eye could follow, and impaled a tree trunk right where Leo's head had been a second before. The sound of the impact, a sharp asterisk, thwack, asterisk, echoed through the silent woods. I scrambled backward, tripping over a route and falling hard onto my back. My mind was a whirlwind of pure panic. I crawled away, digging my fingers into the dirt, my eyes still locked on the horrifying figure. It took a step towards me, its movements precise and deliberate. The clicking grew louder, faster, an eager, predatory sound. It lowered its upper body, bringing itself closer to my level. I could see the faint green light from the patterns on its shell, reflecting off its segmented limbs. From the center of its mass, a new aperture opened, a smaller one, and from it, a sound emerged. It was a perfect imitation of Leo's voice. "Come on, Alex. It's gotta be just over this ridge." The mimicry was flawless, but devoid of any warmth, any life. It was a recording, a hello issue. It was alluding. It was learning. It took another step, the sharp points of its feet sinking into the soft earth just inches from my leg. It tilted its body, the clicking sound now a chittering that vibrated through the ground. It repeated another phrase, this time in my own voice, a snippet of conversation from earlier that day. This isn't right." A primal scream tore from my throat as I finally found my feet and ran. I didn't look back. I ran with the kind of desperation you only find when you know that death is not the worst thing that can happen to you. Behind me, I could hear the snapping of branches and that awful, perfect mimicry of my own voice, calling my name, telling me to wait, telling me that it was all right. The sounds followed me for what felt like an eternity, a ghost in the machine, a hunter in the dark. I don't know how I made it out of those woods. I don't remember reaching the road, but even now, in the dead of night, when the house is quiet, I sometimes hear it, that low, subaudible hum, and I know with a certainty that chills me to my very soul that it's still out there in the dark, waiting and listening.